Hi, good evening, and welcome to Booth Brothers 12. I haven't even got enough fingers. I can't even say 12 on my feet. Look, even though where I come from, a lot of people have got 12 fingers, actually. Anyway, that's another thing. Welcome to the show. And, well, I'm a little bit tired already. It's been absolute bedlam. It's been a nightmare. It's been crazy. And to say that tonight's show is going to be crazy is an understatement. It's going to be absolutely mental. We've already recorded one interview with wheelchair world champion Fred Dinsmore. We're going to be showing you that a little bit later on. Also, we have, well, the newest champion in the world at the moment, and that is Tony Chohan, and he's going to be with us very, very shortly. And also this evening, we're going to be joined by an Australian who used to be on the snooker tour, who's now just come out with this brilliant invention, a new format for pool. And he's going to be live with us from Portugal. His name is Vinnie Calabrese. I think he's got a little bit of Italian in him as well, to be honest. So what about we just start the show right now? It could go on for quite some time because, well, is he there? Are you there, Joey Ryan?
Hey, what's up, Mark? How's it going, buddy?
What's he wearing? I thought I looked bad in my. By the way, look, there's my cap, and it will be coming out for Fred Dinsmore. I've written a little rap. There's my rap cap, and well, you've already heard it, Joey. What did you think of it?
It wasn't bad. It's getting longer, and it shows more creativity. But I have to say something about what I'm wearing right now. I'm wearing this jersey right here. Was from the Saguaro Cup, which is an East-West Moscone style matchup in Phoenix, Arizona. And so I was fortunate enough to get chosen for the East team. We came up just a little bit short, but that's what I'm wearing right now. And this is obviously my game tight hat. I got that from Tony Chohan. So in honor of him being on the show tonight, I'm repping the game tight hat. And so I want to bring in Melina Mike. What do you say about that?
Hang on. Whoa. Yeah, bring in Melina Mike. Of course. Hello, Melina Mike. There he is. But I just want to say, what do you look like tonight? I mean, I know I'm no oil painting. I'm no Brad Pitt. But you actually tonight look like a cross between, right, Tyler Steyer and an American footballer that's been very, very ill when your shirt doesn't fit you anymore. That's exactly what you look like to me.
Killing me.
Man. It's got to be the hat, buddy. Don't worry about it.
How you doing, Mike?
I'm doing good, man. Doing good. It's been a hectic day, but we're getting it done, boys.
I'll tell you what, it's been absolutely crazy for all of us in lots of different ways, apart from Joey, of course, who he says it's been a bit of a nightmare, but he just come back from vacation, holiday. Oh, go on, do your English, do your Mary Poppins
holiday. Hey, Mark, before we get really cranking on this, I just want to mention for those of you that are in here live right now, hit up the chat. We're going to have Tony Chohan as the first guest tonight. So if you got any questions for him, I know most of you probably witnessed his incredible performance over the weekend. So shoot up some comments in here and we'll make sure that we get him over to Tony when he comes on live. What do you guys say?
Yeah, absolutely right. And we're also going to be talking about the brilliant Masters, which came to a conclusion just a few days ago. Brilliant win by Alex Kazakis. Absolutely unbelievable end to that competition. We'll be doing a little bit about that. And of course, we'll be talking about the upcoming World Pool Championships, which is starting on the 6th of June coming up. I think it starts this Sunday, isn't it? Yeah. And I'm actually going to it. And the show could be coming live from there next week. So fingers crossed that could be happening. What do you say, Joey, that we get?
Yeah, let's bring him in. But before we do, I just have to mention that we had a little bit of technical difficulties. So I managed to figure it out. And we're going to have Tony coming in right now. So there's Tony Chohan. He's on a Zoom call that I'm sharing my screen. So what's up, Tony?
What's going on, Joey? What's going on, Mike? What's going on, Mark?
Not much, man. We're really happy for you, man. Like so many people have been talking about it. And when you see the amount of money that was in that tournament, and the pressure and the field, the folks that you were up against in there, and you had the tough side of the bracket. I mean, there's no doubt about it. Every match was just a tough player. What was it like in the beginning of that tournament when you saw the draw and what you were facing there? Were you thinking about winning it all, or just taking it one match at a time? How'd it go?
I mean, I knew I had to play really well. I mean, I just came in with the game plan just to know that I had to, have to play a certain style against certain people and, just play, game for game, I mean, you can't, a lot of times or for the last year or so, I've been trying to win games fast, and sometimes you just got to let the game play out, so, and I've been starting to do that a little bit more. So now taking my time and thinking a little more and, think what the right thing to do is compared to the thing that'll maybe get there, and end the game within 10 minutes instead of, taking 45 minutes, but sometimes you just can't do that with good players. It's you miss, it's over with, or you leave a gap or you leave an opening for someone to come back to the table and maybe make a great shot on you and be able to run out. So it's just, I just kind of took my time and I knew there was a lot of money on the line. And I said, well, the only way you can win is you're going to have to go through these, I mean, I had a pretty hard draw, that's for sure. I have to play Dennis, I have to play Alex, I have to play Evan. Jeremy played good in the tournament. Who else?
Evan, I think, no?
Scott twice, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, Melina Mike did a really nice write-up on the event, and I don't know if you saw it, but he talked about how there was he kind of saw a shift. Melina, you wanna tell Tony what you kind of recognize from this tournament?
Yeah, I mean, I think the elephant in the room is what Tony kind of touched on is his ability to change his style that maybe we haven't seen in the past. Tony's been real flashy and to his credit, because that's gotten him a lot of fans. But somebody like a Jeremy who's going to go and squeeze, or I mean, just different style of players, you got to be able to keep your mind right. And we know Tony can get a little impatient at times, but I think the evolution that we've seen, and it wasn't just in this tournament, but it was how we first saw it when he played against Chip. It was pretty inspiring, Tony.
Yeah, I appreciate it. Yeah, I mean, and that's another thing. I mean, I know everybody wants to see the certain style, and then there's other people that want to see this style, So it's like a happy medium, and I know that I kind of got I got to conform myself to to the table and to the shots that are available, So I kind of just, in my head, I'm just thinking, it's time, that book some losers, you know what I mean? Not doing good in tournaments and stuff, and more or less not caring sometimes or whatnot.
That's the thing.
I just told myself, either you want to be a good pool player or you want to be known for who you are, or you might as well just hang it up. And I was just not ready to hang it up yet.
So I know Mark's just getting into one pocket, Tony. He's kind of learning a little bit about it here and there. And, Mike and I probably knock him over the head with one pocket all too much, with him being from the UK and us kind of being immersed in it here. But I think, Mark, don't you have something that you want to ask Tony?
Yeah, I've got a two-pronged question. Of course, I'm going to get the most out of my time that I can, because I don't really know much about one pocket, to be honest, Tony. I've played it about 3 times. To be honest, I don't find it a spectator sport, probably because I'm not a purist. I'm not really got into it that deeply at the moment, but I know I will be hooked on it eventually. My first question is, if you could give a player I've been quite a decent snooker player. I've been a half decent pool player, but I really want to get into one pocket. What advice would you give to somebody who's interested in taking up one pocket? What would you say to them?
I mean, honestly, it's really just playing playing an opponent and, trying to see, maybe watching a lot of the videos and stuff or watching matches can help, open your eyes to why somebody did what they did. What were they thinking about? I mean, there's a lot, a lot of people can watch a one pocket match, but very few can understand why somebody's doing what they're doing, I mean, because, and that's what I see myself doing more and more now is I'm thinking about everything, I'm thinking about where I'm leaving my opponent, where the balls are laying, why I'm doing what I'm doing. So, the thing is, you got to always think about trying to take away bank land. You got to think, it's not just about pocketing balls, not about just getting the opening shot. It's kind of like, it's like a chess game on the pool table. You got to try to see where you can leave the balls. So when you do get an opening, you got a chance to run balls if you do. I mean, and the good thing about being a snooker player is you're going to pocket balls probably better than I am. You know what I mean? So it's just what it is.
Yeah, that sort of leads me nicely into the second part of my question. You're getting players like Joshua Filler now and Feder Gorse taking up the game. Europeans are becoming interested in it all of a sudden, and people have told me that even though Joshua Filler doesn't actually understand all the ins and outs of it and all the tech, the different strategy of the game, but he's just potting them from everywhere. And it's interesting that you just said that. Like you mentioned me being a snooker player wanting to pot. Is it possible for Europeans to get good at this, and they're just going to go about it and the potting way? Can they become champions that way, or do they need to learn all the strategy?
Well, they got to learn, the moving part too, and why somebody's doing what they're doing. But obviously, they're going to have an edge with the potting balls and just shot making in general. Because they shoot so straight. That it's just there's a different finesse on. They're going to have a little bit of trouble with some banking here and there, but eventually they'll figure that part out too. It's kind of like a happy medium, but their shot making ability is going to help them so much. It's going to, Filler, like, people always say, oh, I wish you play Filler. Yeah, I'd love to play him, but I'm not knocking his door down trying to find him, you know what I mean? Because the guy really does. He banks good. He shoots, great. His cue ball's great. So what is it that I'm going to really do better than him? I'm going to have to try to outsmart him is the only thing I can do, or
Do you
keep him
think you
off
could?
shot. That's
Do you
hard to
think you
do with
could?
anybody that shoots as straight as he does. And, he's always going to be close to the hole no matter what shot he shoots.
I think Mark was asking if you think you can outsmart him.
Yeah.
Here's the thing. I don't mind playing anybody, but anybody I do play will be on worn-in cloth and 4 1/4 or less pockets.
Yeah, because when you played Filler at Roy's, it was 4.5, right?
Yeah, the pockets over there are definitely bigger, and it's kind of it's forgiving, so it's like it's just hard to play any good player, period, if you're not playing on tight pockets because there's no safety on the table really because you only have to come close to the pocket and you can shoot just about anything, but if you got the snug pockets, well, the difference is going to come out is they're not going to play as well.
Yeah.
4-inch all the way, I say.
4-inch, yeah.
That's the last thing I'm going to say. I'm going to leave it to the experts now. Thanks for answering that, Tony. It was very interesting. Cheers, mate.
Hey Tony, we have some folks that are in the chat here, and they're hitting up the chat. And one of them is our buddy Jay with Dead Punch Pool, and he wants to know who you think is the best one pocket player in the history of the game.
It's definitely Efren. Hands down, he had finesse. He put people in spots that there wasn't really nothing to do. Hands down, definitely. It's definitely Efren for sure.
So sorry, I was going to say at Efren's peak, and you at your peak playing optimally. What's the game?
Even.
I'm gonna say like 10-8.
10-8, really? Wow.
It's just. It's hard to say because his finesse and his style when he was around, when he was in his peak is different than style now. So maybe he couldn't give it to me. Maybe he can. I'm not sure because it's a clash of styles. But the guy he could put his cue ball anywhere. You know what I mean? He'd shoot a ball to his hole, and he might put the cue ball in. The weirdest spots that you would never think that he could put you in is where he would put you. Yeah. You wouldn't think the cue ball could get there and still shoot the shot he's shooting. It was just, his touch and speed was just second to none,
I think Tony's being humble because I can count and recall probably about a dozen times that I said that exact same phrase watching you play this weekend, where you were pulling stuff or pulling a rabbit out of your hat, and not only were you moving balls by your hole, shaking things around, but more importantly, you were trapping at the same time, and it was pretty impressive to go and watch. On the note of filler, the way you've been playing lately, you smoke them, and it ain't close. I don't think, Tony, because it's a very contrast of styles compared to the way you played them last year or whatever it was.
Yeah, thank you. I mean, it's really just a happy medium. You know what I mean? We'll never know until it actually happens again.
Right.
Because it is different styles, so one game a person can look really bad, and the next game he can look like the best, so it's the overall performance, you know what I mean, and taking game for game. I mean, for me, um, you know, I took some leads on a lot of people, and I let them get back, and that's where I have to
You did.
I kind of got to clamp down on that part of it, because there's a lot of matches where I had 4-1 leads, and I let them creep back because I relax up, or I'm not playing that same
Dennis?
style, or I try to shoot a shot that I know I'm not supposed to shoot, or unless it goes in and it's no good, So I need to. There's things that I still have to do to make myself play better, also.
With it seems like it's just like good and evil, right? Where like you know what to do, but then you also have this exciting side also kind of battling against each other. And I think you're absolutely right when you say that you let some get away, but the important thing is that you close them. You close Scott, you close Dennis. Even though you let him back in the game, it would have been real easy to go and fold because of that. I know you said you're not scared to play anyone, and that's made you a lot of fans. Who do you want to play, Tony? Who do you want to go and gamble with?
I mean, honestly, I'm probably going to try to take a little spot from like Dennis or something like that and try to play him, probably. I mean, there's a lot of games, but like there's not a lot of a lot of these other guys they're going to try to play each other now before they try to play me anymore, right? So that's kind of makes it difficult to play some of these guys, and then it kind of makes it difficult for me to make a move and play somebody else and stuff. So it's kind of like I mean, really, there's not a whole lot of people to choose from, anyways, right?
Dennis and
Tony.
Alex?
Joey,
Sorry,
can we
Mike.
just go through can we just go through the chat very quickly? I can see there's a few messages and people joining. I would love to get as many of them involved as well there's a few questions just popped up.
Definitely,
If we-
but I have one question first, Tony. So you played Scott twice in this tournament. You gambled with Scott. Yeah, what was that? A few months ago, and then you gambled with Chip a couple times. Most recently, you beat him. There's a lot of chatter going around about Chip playing Scott, Chip playing Corey. How do you think those matches? I'd like to get your assessment of that and kind of what you're thinking about. Like maybe, if you're the top American player right now, who's number two? Just put you on the spot.
Honestly, to tell you the truth, I would probably think it's Justin Hall.
Really?
In my opinion, I mean, he's got a style, and I mean, banks well, he moves well. I think Justin Hall, Chip Compton, Scott, they're all right there. I mean, I believe Justin Hall does some things a little bit better. Chip does some things a little bit better in different areas. I guess I could say it's an any given day.
Yeah.
Who's going to win between them? I'd be curious to see, who wins between Chip and Scott.
Yeah, me too. Some of the comments in here, Muzz Elo says, love watching your freakish shots, Chohan, thumbs up. Raymond Linares says, Efren was nasty. Before he started slowing down, he was giving Cliff Joyner 9-7, and the rest of the world was trailing. And then he talks about his carom knowledge being really important and his 15-ball rotation in Efren's game. And then Nicholas Batiste wants to know what Raz you're running right now during this interview. And
got Blackmore up.
He's got a black bore up. Tell us real quick, Tony. You got Game Tight. I'm wearing the hat right now so people can see it. Tell us a little bit real quick about Game Tight and about your Facebook group and kind of what that's all about.
All right, so my Facebook group is Have Fun. It's just a page where I do some raffling of some high-end cues and stuff. And, we even do some, lower-end stuff. I mean, it's something, honestly, at the end of the day, it helps me, get from tournament to tournament, with a little bit of the profits or whatever, and kind of helps me in life, period, and helps people have a chance to win big cues that are expensive that they wouldn't otherwise be able to afford. The Game Tight clothing, I'm going to be having some more stuff in inventory probably within the next 2 to 3 weeks, and I'll be on my Facebook page. I'll throw a message out there showing what I've got. As far as what's coming up next, I'm going to Vegas tomorrow for the U.S. Open One Pocket and U.S. Open Banks, so I'll be there, and then after that, I'm going to go to California and visit my family and hang out there for a week or so. And more or less, I appreciate everybody that's fans, and I appreciate everybody that helps support me and, and everything I do. And, pool career is not the easiest one, but we figure out ways to try to, help each other. And I'm, grateful for that,
Yeah. Well, I think we're going to bring on another guest here. And Tony, we're going to keep you on just for a few minutes, if you wouldn't mind. We really appreciate you taking the time to join us. And we certainly wish you the best of the luck in the U.S. Open One Pocket and whatever you do from here. But Mark, do you want to introduce our next guest? Because we do want to get Tony's opinion on one of the things that he's going to be talking about here.
Yeah, this is so interesting and it's kind of worked out perfect that you managed to get Tony on the show, and I really am so thankful for you coming on, Tony, after this big tournament that you just done. I mean, we really are privileged to have you. And we're going to introduce you now to a guy called, by the way, I've just seen a message from somebody to say that they think that you look like Tyler Steyer will look like in about 30 years' time. And Margaret says she doesn't mind Tyler getting older. He's going to be a very good-looking older granddad. That's a nice little
stop it, Mark.
This just took a turn.
Oh, man. To be Tyler Steyer's age again, let me tell you.
I'll tell you what, if I knew then what I know now, is that right? No, if I knew now what I knew then, something like that. Yeah, so let's get him on. I mean, this guy he used to be on the professional circuit. He lived with the world champion Neil Robertson for about 10 years. He's best mates with him. He's come up with this amazing concept, this brilliant new format that he's just launching. And, let's bring him on. His name is Vincent Calabrese. There he is. Look. I'll tell you
what. Vinny.
Hello, how are we, guys?
As well, look. Oh, he's got everything, hasn't he?
Vinny,
thanks so much guys? Thanks for letting me come on the show. And I've been watching. Hi, Tony, Mike, and Joey, and Mark. We've been talking for the last week or so. So nice to meet you guys properly, actually, now. So, and Tony as well. I've bumped into him briefly before, many years ago. And but happy to be on the show. Thanks a lot.
Yeah, he actually remembers you. We mentioned to him off there just before he came on, and he actually did remember meeting you in Vegas.
Oh, yeah. Well, I didn't think he would. It was very briefly, and but yes, yeah.
Yeah, and unfortunately, with the technical problems we're having tonight, Tony can't see you right now, but he can hear you, and we were able to kind of chat for a minute beforehand. But yeah.
All right. Yeah. No. Yeah, I've been around a little bit.
Mark, do you want to show that video?
Yeah, I'd like everyone to just watch this video. I think it's incredible.
Which one is it, Mark?
I believe we're going to show the 6 balls in one pocket.
Right. Okay. Yep.
Yeah,
Run
and
that you did.
in order to do this, Mark, I gotta turn off Tony for a second. But we already showed this to Tony ahead of time. Then we'll bring Tony back on because we do want to get his thoughts on this. What we already showed. Okay, hold on.
Alrighty.
Let's see. Whoops, wrong button. Here we go. Here we go. Stand by.
Here we go.
I don't know if people can hear us now.
Yeah, I was going to say the same thing.
Yeah, I think they can. Let us know if you can see this video okay and if you can hear us.
I like the graphics.
Yeah,
I love the graphics in the background. They're great.
It's a good pool show.
Now, I'm surprised you didn't try a 2-rail bank here, Vinny.
You know, I'm not that advanced yet. I have to play more one pocket.
Yeah, Chohan would have done that, right, Tony? 2-rail and that 3-ball.
Yeah, I'm still learning those shots. I'm such a novice on all those pool shots. I just pop balls.
You certainly do.
Yeah, well, I didn't get it first go, but it wasn't the point. I just wanted to show what my my new concept. You know, this is just a bit of visual artwork. You know, and you know, I enjoy doing it, and but yeah, it leads way more into everything else.
Well, you made these 6 balls all in one pocket in rotation, and they were not easy. We got people commenting sick. David Stout says sick. Yeah, I mean, this right here was impressive, but what people didn't see there, and let me bring in Tony Chohan again. And Tony's so great to hang out with us, man. I just love it. Hold on. Let's see. There he is. Make sure we...
Joey's working overtime tonight, ladies and
overtime. Let's bring Tony back in.
He has just come back off holiday.
Yeah, and so I think, Tony, when you saw that video, I think your first words were, wow, that's pretty tough, right?
Yeah.
Well, what
I didn't
you
get
didn't
it first go. It wasn't the objective. I just wanted to do something that was, you know, a lot of people will get that, but it was just a visual example of what the technology of the green screening and my concept going forward with my other ideas that I'm planning to show to the world.
Well, Vinny, what I was going to say that the fans at home didn't get to see, but we do have in our possession, is you running 15 balls in one pocket, similarly to that. 15.
Oh, this was a lot harder.
Yeah.
And again, I didn't get it first go, and that wasn't the objective, and I didn't even get it 100th go, I don't think. But I was happy to get it anyway. Oh, yeah.
There's lots and lots. I could actually talk to you which we have been talking for hours, that we just saw. We got introduced to somebody by a mutual friend. We didn't know each other till about a week ago, and we've just been on the phone all the time, he's been sending me videos and I've been sending him all my praises, and he's been telling me about all these different ideas that he's got, and honestly, I was hooked straight away. I think it's amazing what he's doing, what he's planning to do. And you just touched on the 15 balls in one pocket there, and I'd just like you to, if you would, Vinny, without giving everything away, obviously, but I'd just like you to run through very quickly, if you would, what you are proposing to do with this 15 ball in one pocket situation.
Yeah, we have been talking a bit about it, Mark, and I'm still coming up with the ideas, and it's some sort of a challenge, and just yeah, I mean, it was the 15 ball one that I'm going to put out. I'm not sure what sort of challenge, but yeah, I'm going to structure something where I'll put up some sort of prize if anyone could beat that actual time I did. So it would have to be. It's going to be a big prize, a big cash prize, but you know, everything's got to be. It's got to be worth it. So and it's not an easy thing to do because. But that time, I think it was 3 minutes 9. But it'll be something along those lines. I'm not quite sure yet, Mark. You sort of put me on the spot a bit. But no, we have been talking about it. I'm just coming up with different ideas. And I don't even know if anyone would be interested. But I think, the prize would have to be a substantial amount. And you might get some guys thinking about it.
Would there be an entry fee or how does that work?
No, well, what I'm thinking at the moment, I'm just free to try, and whoever can beat that time with X amount of however it's structured would get the jackpot prize.
So, Tony, you want to take a shot at that when it's finalized?
No.
I would definitely.
We're looking at 3 minutes and 9 seconds, 15 balls in one pocket. Is that what it was, Vinny?
Yes, that's what it was. Yeah, I mean, I had a lot of goes at it, and but yeah, that's it. Yeah.
And it would have to be a live video, right?
Yeah, and I'll come up with some terms, and I'm just looking at a live feed with the same side camera angle. I will say there'll be more labeled down because the prize will be good, right? So there'll be no grey areas. But and when I'm happy for now, I'm actually working on the technology. So if I'm in Portugal and Tony's where he is, we can make the patterns and we can send the patterns to each other, and we can go toe to toe with my technology, the technology that the new technology that we've been working on, like version 2, the new model. So that's what I mean. All these videos, they're just visual shows for that, which later we'll talk about my concept with the removal of the break in the game of Q Sports, right? And that's opens up to whole nother things. But these are just the intro videos. I like playing with side and doing things. So at first I got 6-ball videos, and I was like, this is you can set them up easy and what have you, but I'm like, I want to do something a bit more because, I like watching pool. And I was saying to Mark, now all these like tournaments, all these the players are so good now, it's somewhat a little bit boring watching them run nine ball. You know what? And it's like it's sort of a compliment, but it's like, it is a compliment. They're just that good, that it looks too easy. And I like working the ball, hitting it hard, deep screwing, top spin. So I said, let's try 6 balls in one pocket. And then you find you have to add all these types of spin. And then I was like, this is fun. Let's try 10, in the same pocket. I did them a few times. I started, and it's a great learning tool. You start learning the shots. You get sometimes you get the 15 ball. I got to the 9 ball a few times, and then it's like learning the shot, and you have to take 20 minutes to get to the 9 you've missed, and you got to do it all again. And you're learning so many little things that you pick up. But I went off track there. But this 15 ball, whatever, on my YouTube channel is just an intro into what I want to introduce a addition to the Q Sports games, where I think it's very, very scalable, a lot more scalable than what's out there now. And the key factor is the removal of the break. And now we can mimic games. Like I put up a video on my YouTube with L Strickland. He put up a post a few years ago saying, and then thread followed, but I put it on my YouTube, and he said, pool should be similar to like golf, where to see who the best player is, each person plays the same pattern or the same game, the same layout. And that's why there is a lot of similarities between golf and snooker, with the stationary ball, the preset positions that you can place on a golf course and on a pool table, the time in between shots. So these are my YouTube channel. If we've sort of got into more of me now, sorry, but my YouTube channel is just an intro into what an addition I want to bring to Q Sports, where like Tony was saying, and last week we had Oscar, where, even though Tony won that tournament last week, he's not like, he's saying he's selling his gear online to get a bit of extra money to help him to go and play the game he loves. And it's been like that for 100 years. It's like Matchroom's doing great. Yeah, that's great. And they are. If it wasn't for Matchroom, it'd almost be nothing. Barry Hearn's done great with the snooker. I know about the snooker. And then now the Matchroom, the events are looking great. I know he's been covering all the time. But it's and I said as well, it's been a bit, not boring, but it's gone into that mold. And and why I've got a bit of success or a lot of success earlier with this product here on this side is the removal of the break. Now you can collect the statistics on a game of pool.
Yeah. Well, Vinny, let me. I want to hear more about your channel and some of your other thoughts. But before we do, Tony's been around now for at least 45 minutes as we were getting set up and everything. And I want to get the chance to cut him loose. But before I do, I kind of want to get his thoughts on this. I saw him doing some head nods in here, and I think there's some things that resonated with him. So, Tony, what are your thoughts on what he's putting together here with this 15 ball rotation into one pocket? You think there's merit for that? You think that could catch on?
I mean, no. I mean, it's definitely a good idea. I mean, there's incentive there. I mean, I don't see why people wouldn't try it or whatnot. That first shot that I saw of the 6-ball one that's the toughest one in my opinion, because you got to yank it back and pull it back to come back for that second ball, because that's
I even put a bit of side on it.
If you don't make that first one, and yank it back and get that decent angle, But I mean, like I said, Vinny's a great snooker player, so he's going to pocket the balls really good too, So, but it's a very tough one.
So,
but it's worthy of the challenge.
So let's do this, Tony. If we get this thing going, you got to take a shot at it. Okay. We want to see what you can do with 15 balls in rotation in one pocket. I mean, when the balls are spread out and it's time to run the balls into one pocket, there's not many people that do it better than you. So will you give that to us? Will you give us a shot at that when he gets this going?
Most definitely.
Awesome. Well, Tony, thanks so much for joining.
Cheers, Tony. Yeah, that'll be great, mate.
Yeah, we're gonna cut you loose, man. We really appreciate all your time, and we're gonna go back and talk a little more with Vinny. But thanks so much, and congratulations again on the big Buffalo win, and best of luck in the U.S. Open one pocket.
Thank you. I appreciate it, and
Cheers,
very
Tony.
well, and I hope you all doing well. Thank you.
Congratulations,
awesome.
Tony.
Thanks, Tony.
Be safe, homie.
Thanks, mate. One thing I'd like to do quickly, Joe, is go into the chat again, because there's lots of comments about Joshua Filler done it 3 out of 5 times. I'm not sure exactly how he did that in that particular, or how it happened. I'd like to know more about that. And maybe you can just go through a few of the comments in the chat for us, mate. Only because I can't read them.
I can tell you that there's a bunch of people that are kind of shocked by this. One guy said, okay, now it's time to quit pool. Another person did say, 3 minutes and 9 seconds, question mark, all 15 in one hole, question mark. And then Filler did it 3 out of 5 times, like you said, at Roy's basement. But we talked about that before, 3.5-inch pockets. And then somebody mentioned Tom Worth, who's a great one pocket player, wrote a really good book on one pocket, has some videos making all 15 into one pocket. Remember, this is not all 15 into one pocket. It's all 15 in order. What are you pointing at, Mark?
I'm just pointing that he's just said not in rotation. The guy that said Joshua Filler done it 3 times.
Okay. Yeah.
Not in rotation. There's the thing.
Yes. Well, I can tell you this. When I was up in Vegas, I was commentating the Johnny Archer Dominguez match, I think it was, and Alex came in and was practicing 15-ball ghost one pocket. And it was not in order, but just watching a world-class player try to do that, and he was betting on it, just without running them in order, it was tough, right? Running them in order, forget it. I mean, that's just like insane. And we do have proof. We did see Vinny's video of running them in order.
Yeah, but guys, I mean, I think it took me, quite some time, and I'm not want to come on in and say I'm the better than anyone in the whole world. Look at this. It took me ages, I got frustrated and everything. So, and like, just because I did that 15 balls in one pocket, if I play, I would have zero chance of playing Tony in a proper game of one pocket, It's not the angle I was trying to get out, but like if you guys want to say it and pipe it up, yeah. But it's all leads to my biggest plan for pool. This is just my visual intro video to what I want to unveil as another pool game to the Q Sports industry, and a different concept that is very scalable and exactly why I started playing cue sports and snooker and pool. Obviously, I love the game. I still do it now. But, I went on the pro tour and I just wasn't good enough to be a pro snooker player. And all I wanted to do was pop balls, play pool and try and earn some money of it. I couldn't do it at a pro level, but I believe I've come up with a product and a concept where I can give back to pool players because it's a two-way system. I'm going to need the content to feed for the product that I want to give to the gambling industry. And so in turn, when both get bigger, prize money gets bigger. And so this is the way I've seen, you got to come up with different things to shake some trees and say, you take away the break, one player versus the table, not a second player. No, it's another way we've eliminated the stigma, which, it's a shame, but that pool has been labelled with gambling and match fixing. It still happens today in the snooker, So, and I'm sure there's been a million stories of all sorts of things that have gone. I lived in Vegas for 9 months. You hear all sorts of things. So that's another thing, why pool is such a great game, cue sports, and especially the 9 feet. It's totally a different dynamic to the snooker. I played both at high levels, and and you can do things on a pool table you can't. And both games have its respect and its art and it's like brilliance within the game on the table with those balls and the equipment to do the different things, which really show off all your skills in every table or that chosen table. Then you've got 2-shot pool in England. You got the small white. It's a very defensive game. I don't like it myself, but I respect it. Everything has its own one pocket, it's you got to really be into it, but the skill in that is tremendous.
I think Mike has a question for you, Mike.
Yeah, I've heard like bits and pieces of this, and maybe it was a couple of years ago when I first heard of 7-ball run getting started in Vegas and pros going out there. And if I remember the premise, it was that it was going to be a group of guys or whatever in different times of the day, but essentially running the same pattern and being able to live bet whether or not he'll be able to accomplish that 7-ball run. And it is going to completely eliminate the break, if I remember right. And I think you're onto something, because for better or worse, and whether or not people like it, or some people may not like it, if you get people involved when it comes to gambling on pool, there's going to be more eyes on it. Sports and gambling, especially here in the U.S. and I know in Europe also, it's a huge thing, and it gets eyes on there. So I think you're onto something, Vinny, for sure.
Yeah, you're right, Mike. That was this is what the 7-ball run then. That is the project I was working on in Vegas back then. Yeah, we had a lot of guys down, and Oscar was there last week. He was on the show, and I mean, I could talk about it all night, but that was the basic premise. That was the live version. Now I'm planning to do the live version, but we've got a slightly different direction now. But it's still in the gambling industry. But yeah, like what you said with the stigma of the pool and the gambling and all that, that's why we were in heavy talks with big gambling companies, because the concept that we were proposing, that our concept is, it eliminated 99.9% of corruption in pool with our concept. So that's why with our concept we got as far as and we still do talk to these in talks with these gambling companies. So I'm just we've been on a bit of hiatus, and the COVID happened, and now I've managed to get a table now. I'm starting to produce content, and starting to get back up and running now.
Yeah, I'd just like to say at this point, I've watched lots and lots of videos over the past week, and I'm just super impressed. I'm not a gambling man myself. I never gamble. It mainly because I don't have money to lose. I think you should only gamble if you can afford, or gamble whatever you can afford to lose. That's just my personal opinion. I know lots of people get lots of excitement out of it. So that's not what really attracts me to it. What attracts me to it is the skill level. But of course, I appreciate the gambling is another side to it, and I can see it working very, very well. I love the whole concept of it. I think you're an amazing player, and people haven't really seen what you're capable of. and I know Joey Ryan, he has the best podcast in the world, in my opinion. His Pool Player podcast, and I know he's going to have you on there and do a complete hour of you, the person, and you've got a
That'd
really
be great. Yeah.
yeah, you've got an interesting life. You've lived with Neil Robertson for 10 years. You're best mates with him. I believe he was best man at his wedding. Is that right?
Well, I am, and I still am, and I'm going to be, because it was scheduled, COVID hit, and then now he's rescheduled for a few months' time. So, yeah, so I am still.
And one last thing that I want to say to you, the question on my lips now is, who is your dentist? Can I have the name of your dentist, please? You said, look how white his teeth are.
He does have a good smile. You have a good smile, Vinny.
It's only the tops, the bottoms. That's why my big lips cover the bottoms. So,
Hey, Mark, before we let Vinny go, can we please show that one more time? Can I just show that 6-ball run out here in the one pocket? Because I know there's people who have joined since we showed it, and I want them to see it one more time. Okay, and just
overlaying the talk, or no?
I think they can hear us, but let's just check it out. Yeah, let's see. I'm going to turn this on, and we're going to show it one more time. Check this out, folks.
This is my favorite one out of all of them, to be honest. That's why I gave it to you guys.
Look at the spin. Look at the spin.
Talk us through it. Talk us through the shots.
I play too quick. Even I can't keep up with myself. Well, yeah, I mean, it goes quite quick anyway. But actually, as you can see, my friend here is in the corner, right? And I'm actually, the full video's on YouTube, goes for 7 minutes, and it's got all the retakes leading up to this finish.
Right.
And he walks in the door as I'm about to do it, and I'm actually explaining to him what I'm doing, because I've been doing it so much, and I know now how it's going to work out.
Okay.
But it's still not easy.
You're an animal. Look at this.
Yeah, that thing. I'm done playing pool now after watching this.
No, but I mean, I had I was practicing a lot, and when a player gets in the groove and in the zone, this concept, I really do. I'm really hitting the balls, and you learn stuff just like on the go all the time, and you get into a groove. And I know they're difficult shots, but I had many attempts at them.
You're undervaluing that. It difficult is an understatement. Like 1 out of the 6 was hard, and then you go and put each one of them consecutively in order. I mean, the whole thing is just absolutely mad, and I hope more guys go and give this a go and see how difficult it is, man. Because that 3-ball was brutal.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah.
I've actually got the idea right now. I've spoken to Vinny about it, and he's up for this as well. I'd actually like this to become, when he gets it up and running and begins to get people doing this challenge, I'd love to do a weekly. We spoke about when we started this show, Joey, we were going to get the guests to run 10 balls as quick as they could. What I'd actually like to do now, when Vinny gets this up and running, I would love to have a regular feature every week of the best attempts from the week of somebody trying to do the 6-ball or the 10-ball or the 15-ball challenge, and start to promote it a little bit more and get more and more people involved in taking part in it, because I think there's a lot of mileage in this. I think it could be good. It's something that it's a leveler. And that's what I love about it. Nothing about the break, no luck involved. You're playing exactly the same pattern.
Yep. What did we see in the Whirlpool Masters, right? Our player we were rooting for in a race to 7 is up breaking the balls, and they break the balls and they get kicked. The cue ball gets kicked somewhere, or they get hidden on their first shot. And just when they had some momentum, and we're like, son of a gun, that's so unlucky. And that just takes that completely out of the game. And wouldn't that be like the true equalizer as to who the best cueist is, right? Yeah. You lay out the same pattern. You have 200 of the best players in the world try the pattern over time, a number of innings, and then you take the best score. I mean, wouldn't that be it?
Well, let's gamble.
And you wouldn't have to talk about,
he loves that.
Yeah. Well, you wouldn't have to talk about, who's better, Tyler Steyer or Danny Olson. Well, who's got a better break? Tyler's got a better 10-ball break. So it's, no, let's see who the better cueist is.
And I want to say, guys, look, I envy those guys, especially in the 10-ball. If you don't have a good 10-ball break, you can't win at 10-ball. It's simple. And I envy those guys because I wish I could break like those guys. But, I'm quite in the pool world. I just sort of carried on from stop playing snooker to playing pool. I still don't own a break cue. So it tells you how much I can break. I travel to comps with one cue. And I borrow cues, jump cues. I refuse to pay for the jump cue, the break cue, not because I can't use them for one. It really drives me mad. And I started getting better at kicking because I will not jump the ball. I don't want to rubbish the break or anything. I wish I could break as good as these guys. Then I'll play the tour and I'll probably win a lot more. But I'm looking for scalability in cue sports to get not a wide audience, but to scalable to generate money in cue sports. And I have one system that feeds another system that keeps feeding each other to raise the profile as well of cue sports in a way that's not not saying boring, but it's gone a bit stale. And things are coming. And I've been out of the game for a while too. Like I stopped playing snooker. I started working a bit. Then I had the last 5 years I haven't stopped, but it wasn't on cue sports. I've been trying to get this up and running. I went months. I would go 10, 12 months without picking up a cue. I was living in all sorts. I lived in the Philippines, Mallorca, Vegas, back home in Australia. And
you took a year off and then you're still knocking them in like that?
That's
crazy.
In the last 5 years, in the last 5 years since I stopped the pro tour, I've probably played pool for about 18 months in 5 years.
Wow.
Since 2017, when I first went to America to play my first ever international tournaments, I played the US 10-ball and US 8-ball at Griff's, and that was my first tournaments, and I got fifth in the US Open 8-ball, my first ever open tournament. So I just only really played pool in Australia, and that's an amateur level, and I never really played pool outside Australia. I lived in England for 10 years playing professional, leading up to playing 3 years of professional snooker. But in the pool world, I played only 2 tournaments, really. I played a couple of 7 feets in the 7 feet US 10 ball. I got third in that behind Shane and Sky. And my best finish would have to be the 5th in the US Open, which I'm really happy with. My first ever attempt.
That's crazy,
Yes.
Vinny.
Hey, wait a minute.
That's ridiculous, man.
Wait a minute. We can't get all this information out of Vinny right now. He's got to come on Pool Player Podcast so everybody can learn about him. What I want to know, Vinny, I checked out some of your videos and my jaw dropped. Mark's like, you got to see this. And I didn't even realize you and I were already messaging each other when you and Mark were messaging. I didn't know it was the same guy we were talking about. And Mark's like, you got to check out this guy. And I'm like, yeah.
He's two-timing us.
I know. Okay, and so I'm looking at your videos, and here's the thing that astonished me was that there's not a huge following yet. So what can we do to help you? Where can people go to see your videos that you're putting out on YouTube? Because just that 6-ball video that we just showed should have 20,000 views at least. I mean, that thing is nuts. And you have a 15-ball one. So tell people where to go to find you.
Well, I've got the channel is and the Facebook page is the Play Series. That's my the Play Series is the YouTube channel that I'm creating. It's the free to watch channel, which I also want to go in that direction too. So I did mention stuff about my first this product, but like I said, I got both products that feed each other and supply content for both arenas. So I'm still gonna. So the Play Series on YouTube is my free to watch because I want the world to see this, I want exciting, different, cool pool content. With the green screening on the background, I want to do more things like I can do educational things, put up times tables, get more kids watching, put Chinese language symbols, because we know Chinese people love watching it. You do translations like one ball yellow, have that translated in Chinese. Just to get it out there and just to get the visual out there, and it could be to attract a newer audience or more of an audience that kids might see the pretty colors and say, "What's this?" It's endless. The concept with the green screening and the possible advertising, and I can put videos in the background too. So you can watch me playing pool, and you could have your video in the background playing on the wall.
Yeah, so I just put up the I don't know if you can see it, but Play Series on YouTube is where people can go to find it. Play Series on YouTube. So check it out. Subscribe to that channel and check out some of these videos that he has because it's really, really cool.
Sorry, while you're there, Joey. So
Yeah.
YouTube is I'm uploading my the Play Series videos on there. I've got at the moment one tournament there that I'm head to head with someone, so you can see how the removal of the break player versus table concept works. Equal opportunity, exactly the same starting points, no break, and so that's that concept. And then, but very soon I'm going to be launching on another channel my live stream with all my own content, and it's going to be that's going to be more interactive. So I'll let you guys know, but that's on the Theta network, and they're like a decentralized video streaming. They pay you in crypto for views, and so I'm going on there, and it's it's going to be more interactive. I'm going to have all the games with the percentages. I'm going to structure games around it. People can guess yes, no, stuff like this. So that will be a live stream on Theta.
Awesome.
Okay. Awesome. Vinny, a couple more questions. One question in the chat. Robert asked, what cloth did you have on the table that you did that 6-ball run on? Do you know offhand?
Yes, it was a brand new. That was about a 6 weeks old cloth, but Simonis 860.
Okay, the best, right? Okay.
Yeah.
And secondly, we ask every guest, and we have a lock of the week. I'm sure you've heard of it. I know you're a regular viewer of the show by now, aren't you?
Yes.
There we go. Board lock picker, and we ask each week our guests to pick who they think is going to win. I mean, if we had we got Fred Dinsmore coming on a little bit later. I nearly slipped up then, didn't I? We recorded it earlier, but I won't say it now. So who do you think is the favourite? Who do you think is going to win the World Pool Championships, which starts on the 6th of June, Sunday?
Yeah, I mean, you only told me that I've been so busy, but yeah, I'm aware of it. I reckon Shane. Whatever happened in that final there with Kazakis, it was, he played phenomenal, to be fair, but, a few rolls each way, and he just couldn't get it. What was it, 9-11, 9-0?
Yeah.
9-0, yeah.
Yeah, it's like, I mean, you could write your own ticket, but Shane was hitting the ball so good, wasn't he? I mean, there was a difference between Shane and everybody else, and he's got that nice pop stroke, and the balls on those tight pockets, he was hitting back of the pocket. And so something like that had to happen in the final, which Kazakis played unreal. Few things here or there for that to happen, because if Shane got any bit of momentum, he was already there. It was the best I've seen him play for a while.
Yeah.
He looked in the thing too. He's probably in a different place. He's in his life, he looked like a different Shane.
It's kind of interesting, Vinny, because I noticed the same thing. I was watching many of Shane's matches, and I was like, wow, he's just unbeatable. And, I'm sitting there thinking, like, who's going to beat him? And then I wasn't able to catch the finals.
Yeah,
and so I went and saw the score, and I'm like, wait a minute, did Shane forfeit? There's no way he lost 9-0. How did this happen? And Alex was like the opposite, where I was very happy for him after he won, because he seems like a very humble guy. But during the course of the tournament, he was really struggling to find his stroke, and kind of squeaking through matches. And I'm like, they must have Matchroom got the score wrong. How did this happen? But it was kind of interesting. I don't know.
No, well, yeah, it's Q Sports is a funny game, and like I said, not you could have wrote your own ticket, but 9-0 Kazakis. It's and exactly what I said had to happen. He played unbelievable, and he didn't put a foot wrong. I don't think. I watched the highlights, but that was basically the whole game anyway.
Yeah, exactly. Vinny, thank you so much for coming on. I know Joey's going to do a great podcast with you sometime where we're going to find out more about you as a person and a player and your background and your history and all that kind of stuff and what got you into Q Sports. Joey asks all those kind of great questions. I ask stupid questions like who's your dentist, and Melina Mike, of course, he's our money match expert.
I'm blown away, man, because I've known about 7-ball run for a few years. Vinny mentioned the U.S. Open. I've watched those YouTube videos, and I'm thinking that Vinnie Calabrese is this guy out of Philadelphia that I know of, and then now I'm seeing like all these light bulbs going off that I didn't put 2 and 2 together, and it's all happening right now. I'm blown away.
I've been called many names.
It is a name like would own a pasta joint in Philadelphia. It's just
Well, the Calabrese, mafia crime family,
Hey, Vinny.
Hey,
speaking of pizza, though, Mark, you didn't ask him your question.
Are you talking to me? Hey, does pineapple belong in a pizza or not?
I like them on pizzas. It adds a little bit of sweetness, but yes, it does. For me, it does.
And that's coming from an Italian. He's got Italian blood in him. He's got mafia blood running through him.
Yeah, I'll take it.
Vinny, been a great pleasure, mate. We're going to wrap the show up very, very shortly, but you can stay for the caption competition. Should we keep him here for the caption competition? Is that all right?
Yeah, let's do it.
Yeah,
so, there was this brilliant picture of Pia Filler leaning over, and he looks really interested, doesn't he? And then I thought, right, that's a great one. And we got so many great comments in. And then I thought, right, I'm going to a pool hall tomorrow and I'm going to recreate that picture. So I went to a pool hall and I got the guy that I was with.
Oh, my God. And he's got the Band-Aid on the finger. That is not now.
Look at the detail. Look at the detail. I've got the plaster around the finger. I've got the two, the nail varnish on all the right fingers. And I
didn't notice the finger.
Oh, did you not notice that?
I didn't notice it.
Do you know how I did that? Look, hang on.
Oh, boy. Where'd he go?
Goes the extra mile.
He fell off. There goes his microphone. What's he doing?
I'm reaching for my props bag.
This wasn't in the pre-production meeting.
I'm stripping this completely bare. There's the wiglet. There's the wig as we speak. There is the wig. Right, there's the wig. And then I'm going to let you into a little secret here. I didn't paint my nails. I was thinking, how can I do that without painting my nails? Because I don't really want to do that. So what I did was I went to the electrical shop, right?
Blue electrical tape.
There's the blue electrical tape for my plaster. And there's the red electrical tape. And I just stuck some on and cut around to make nails. No, I didn't do that. I'm not that really. But so that's how that came about. Anyway. Enough about that. So it produced over 100 different comments, and people were saying, "Oh, do you want to sleep in a spare room tonight?" Pia's saying to Joshua, and there was lots along that kind of line about she's having a go at him. Do you want McDonald's tonight or KFC? There was all those kind of things going around. But there could only be one winner. Now, just hold on 1 second, Joey. Just look at the genius, what this person, and this is going to be the winner. His name is Michael Wong. He lives in Bangkok. He actually runs a little Q Sports equipment company called Thailand Billiards. And just put the picture up now and look very closely at what he did here. Now, how clever is that? He actually put the picture of me on the phone, look, and she's saying, have you been seeing her?
A little bias there, Mark.
Now, how is that? That's genius, though, isn't it? Don't you think? I just thought it was so clever. So Michael Wong, and he's my friend. So I'm actually going to have to give the prize away this week, Joey. So I'm relieving you of your duty of supplying the prize.
I owe. This is episode 12. I think I owe 10 prizes. I got to get them out. Mike, you got to hook me up. We got to send out some Melina Mike patches.
We're gonna get some sponsors on board, boys.
Mate, they are lovely, your patches. I'd love one, but save it for when I come over to America. Save me one because I definitely want one. They're great.
Hey, they go great on a pool case too, Mark. I got mine on my pool case.
Have you?
Consider done, boys.
Yeah. I got 3 patches on there: my Q-Tech patch, my Molina Mike patch, and my 1 PKT patch. I don't know, Vinny, you got a patch? Maybe I'll put that on there. 7 ball
Mate,
run.
I'm in the process of doing everything. Yeah, so as soon as
All
I
right,
do,
let me know. Let me know.
He's got a hat on. He's just put a hat on. Look, he's dressing up now as well. I'm the only one without a hat on. Hang on.
it's the Black Hat crew.
Mark, you were talking about not having any money to gamble. It's because you spent it all on that bling back there.
Yeah. No kidding.
That's my bling. Actually, that came from the same store as that electrical tape came from. It's like a big, like a B&Q. It's like a hardware store. Apart from that, that's from a snooker table. That is an actual rest there. That is my breast. That my bridge. There you go.
Hey, Mark, we forgot to mention this earlier before we got to the caption competition, and we meant to do this when Tony was on, but we mentioned people on the tables. And so we have a couple shots here just so people can see that this is allowed at Buffalo's in New Orleans. I stopped in there a couple months ago. I was down there for business. And this is kind of some of the stuff that you'll see down there where players are sprawled out, laying completely on the table. And we're talking about some big guys here. Scott Frost is a big guy, 6'3" maybe.
Keep going, Joey. Go to the next one. Have you got them all on there? There's one particular one that I'm going to ask you. Not this one. The next one, is it maybe?
This one?
No. There's one of a guy actually. He's on his knees on the table. Oh, please have that one. It was the most important one.
You're talking about this one?
No, the one on his knees.
Hold on.
Oh, it's going to ruin my joke,
This one?
mate.
This one?
I know. I wrote a joke for it, and it's going to go to waste. It's all right. I'll have to.
This guy's on his knees, Mark.
Yeah, that one.
Tony.
That's the one.
It's Tony.
Right, Tony. Right, hidden in this clip, in this photo here. Right, see if anyone can get it. There is a very famous singer, right, hidden within this picture. Who is it? Very, very quickly. Can anyone
There's
get
only
it?
one guy.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
But
And he's got no head. And he's got no head.
in the picture, what's he doing?
He's
Kneeling?
He's on his Neil, right? What's he kneeling
Neil
on?
Diamond. Neil Diamond.
Diamond. Exactly
my
right.
Mm.
All that for that. I wish I hadn't have bothered now. Why do I bother?
It's the effort that counts.
It's 2:30 a.m. in the morning. 2:30 in the morning. It's 3:30. Shall we say goodnight?
You know, Mark, yeah, I think that's about it for tonight.
You're not sure?
I think we'll end with that. But no, we have our Fred Dinsmore interview.
Oh, of course we do, yeah.
Yeah. So don't forget about Fred, but maybe we should let Vinny go.
Yeah,
and Vinny,
I just want to say thanks for everything. It was like forces of nature that Mark and I happened to come together, and then because I actually said I want to talk to this Mark bloke. I seen the show. John, who's been in the chat, he said, you should really talk to Mark. Really nice guy. They got a good little show there. Check it out. And I said, man, this is brilliant. And I just said, I've got to talk to this Mark. 2 days later, a mutual friend said, Vinny, give this guy a call. He walked in my club, wants to say hi. And then we haven't stopped speaking since. So, and then I've been watching the show every week and caught up on some episodes. I love you guys. It's great that I've sort of come back into the Q Sports with a few years off. And I didn't realize that there is a resurgence coming back. And, Matchroom is doing great. Like whoever's doing whatever for Q Sports is great. And channels like this and all the other stuff I'm catching up on now. It's really, there's a different vibe, and I want to be with that vibe going forward.
Yeah, well, Vinny, I tell you, I'm really impressed with your ideas, your creativity, and anything that we can do to help you, we'd love to help. I could see already, struck by your humility. You wanted to make sure that everybody knew that you weren't saying you could beat Tony Chohan in one pocket, but that you are a fine player, and you're a fine player, and you're a fine guy. So anything that we can do to help you out, we'll certainly do it. And we wish you the best of luck. And I'll be in touch about getting you on Pool Player Podcast for a full interview.
Definitely. I can't wait for that. Yeah. And Mike, nice to meet you, man. I'm sure we'll keep in touch. I've got some we got some things to catch up on. And Mark, I speak to you, I think, every day. You're like one of my girlfriends. So
Vinny, just remember one thing, right? Q Sports are just like the Hotel California. You can
no.
Q Sports are just like the Hotel California. You can check out, but you can never leave, right? And you are
very true. It's in the blood. It's in the
for
blood.
the rest of your life. And just put that picture back up just 1 second.
No, let's not. Let's take.
Does it do it for anyone or not? No. Chaser. That's all I'm saying. Get rid of it. Thanks very much, Vinny.
All right. Well,
all right, guys.
Let's have Vinny go. See you, buddy.
Guys, and I'll talk to you all soon. Thank you very much.
Thanks, buddy.
Good night.
See ya.
Yeah. So earlier on, we did do an interview with a wheelchair world champion. I didn't realise what a multiple world champion he was, and he was great, wasn't he, Mike?
Yeah, for sure. I was really impressed with Fred, and we had a lot of things to go and discuss, and we really did it justice because early on we were kind of a little rusty starting out of the gate. But you guys should definitely tune in for sure.
Yeah, and I'm going to share, I have it up and I'm going to share it, but sometimes when I do, there's audio issues. So if you guys could immediately in the chat let us know how the audio is, and we'll be on as soon as this is done. So it's about 25 minutes, I think. Okay? Here
Enjoy.
we go.
Okay, so we mentioned earlier that we've got lots of guests tonight, and our first guest of the night is wheelchair world champion Fred Dinsmore. Good evening, Fred. How you doing, mate?
Hey, Mark. Hey, guys. Good to be here. Thanks for having me.
Well, thank you so much. Thank you so much for staying up so late. I know it's, 11 o'clock for you, something like that?
Yeah, just go.
Yeah, so this is a recorded interview. We couldn't expect Fred to stay up. They don't mind about me staying up till all hours. And I'm older than Fred, I think. I'm sure I am, actually. How old are you, Fred?
I'm 47.
There you go. You see, I'm 58. I'm the oldest one, and I'm up latest. I should be in bed by now. Anyway, we've got...
I need my beauty sleep more than you.
You don't need it as much as I do, trust me. And look at the way I'm dressed. And Fred, well, it can only mean one thing. When I've got this this bling on and this crazy hat that I absolutely hate wearing, but I have to wear it for my alter ego, two-piece Q, of course. And I've written a little rap for you, Fred. Now, I hope it goes down okay. I've got to admit, it was the most difficult one that I've written. But do you want to hear it?
Yep.
Let's do it.
Okay. So now, I must say, it's all fun, right? It's just all about having fun. That's before I start.
I'm really worried about this one.
Being worried about this.
No pressure, Mark.
Come on, count us in, Mike.
Oh, boy. 1, 2. Come on, it's on you.
Oh, he's rapping and all. Look, I've got a co-rapper. Right, here we go, Fred. This is especially for you, my friend. Yo, Fred Dinsmore, a multiple wheeled world champ with a Q. But you ain't just got a Q, you got a chair with wheels too. You is a world champion in snooker and the pool. And 5 European titles, 8, 9 and 10 ball. I've always wondered, don't it make your arms ache getting to the table when it's your turn to break? Talking of breaking, is it easy to stop? And are the tables at different heights so you can see over the top? You give me a new meaning to the term break and run. You is quick round the table. It's like Paul with Formula One. You is in pole position, the man at the top. Have you ever had a puncture and had to make a pit stop? How many miles do you do in a match? And when will you compete against Christina to catch? Will Matchroom invite you to compete with the others? If they do, get us 3 tickets for us, the Booth brothers.
Hey now. Hey,
all right.
Oh, done.
They're getting longer, Mark. That's a long one.
Look, come on. We got a special world champion on the show. It had to be longer. And there was so much that I wanted to get in there because I just felt myself being more and more creative. And that got me thinking, you have to be even more creative as a pool player, right, Fred? Being in a chair as well, because it's not like you're just like, pardon the way I'm saying it, but you're not like any other player. You know, you've got added difficulties.
Yeah, I mean the important thing is I think that we use the rest or the bridge a lot more than able-bodied players would.
I nicked it. I
Very
nicked your one. You ain't got it no more.
Very good. I don't use one of those. I use the old snooker cross ones.
Yeah, good man.
So you didn't nick my one. Hopefully you nicked one of the other British players' ones. I won't worry about that. But yeah, I mean, I suppose our positional play needs to be better. So we're not using the rest of the bridge as little as possible. But that's really the main difference, I suppose. I mean, reach obviously, and trying to see exactly where the next ball is going to be or the next position is going to be, that could be a little trickier from our point of view than from an able-bodied point of view. But it's fine. We're all used to it at this stage.
Mike.
Yeah, no doubt. I mean, I get inspired, man, whenever I see a guy like Fred, because it's so easy to go and complain and piss and moan about getting like, and I mean it figuratively, but like getting up to go and play or getting the motivation to go and do this, and you get frustrated whenever we come up short on shots or whatever. But to see you go and you already start off with the disadvantage compared to someone who an able-bodied person, right? So to be able to go and accomplish all the things you've been able to do is just motivating, inspiring. I'm curious, have you competed in open events, Fred? And if so, how did that go?
I've played a fair few events in Ireland, and I've done quite well in them. Not for quite a while. I finished, I think, third in the Irish Championships a few years ago now. I've also played in Darren Appleton, his World Pool Series. He invited me to his first one. I played in that, and I won. I played two matches, I think, and won one. And I didn't quite pull it off, but I had a very good match with Imran Majid. And,
great player.
Yeah, I had him. Was kind of level to about 6 each, and I missed a fairly easy shot, and like what I do and what the top wheelchair players do to the lower ranked players, it was bye, see you later, get back your chance. So that, but no, it was a great match. It was a great experience, and Darren's been absolutely incredible to us, with all the support he's gave us. He's phenomenal.
So it would have been
Sorry,
Mike.
Michael.
It would have been 8-ball with Darren, no? And then what would have been Imran's discipline? Would have been 9-ball?
No, that was the first event. That was 8-ball, and it was actually it was a bit of it's just unlucky the way it worked out. He invited me to the first one because 8-ball is actually my weakest event. I absolutely despise and detest everything about 8-ball.
It's my favorite game.
Not surprised, Joey.
It's got to be more difficult, though, hasn't it? For a wheelchair player, it's got to be more difficult to play 8-ball because there's more obstructions on the table, right? And you can't get the rest on the table in as many positions. Is that part of it?
No, it's probably just I just don't like thinking very much.
I've got to say 8-ball's my least favourite. Just want to touch on a point that you made there about playing Darren Appleton, and Darren Appleton invited you to this. Do you see in the very near future somebody like Matchroom coming along and including, we've seen them bringing a lot of the women in now. They're wanting to introduce the game to many, many different people. Is it near, do you think? Have you had any calls from Matchroom? Are you expecting any soon from Matchroom? Can we, expect you to be seeing you in one of those events very soon?
Maybe not with what I'm about to say here. No, I don't. To be honest, it's extremely disappointing. I'm using that word. I could probably say something else, but I'll use extremely disappointing.
Say what you want.
No, I think we're extremely disappointing. To be honest, first of all, let's be clear. Matchroom are doing an absolutely brilliant job. Okay, They're incredible. They're the best promoters in the world. But they're saying that they're creating or that they're promoting the sport for everybody. No, afraid not. The World Championships, this was the perfect time to have wheelchair players involved, and they haven't done it. They've got, by the way, I must make it clear, a lot of my friends are going to be invited to this, and I wish them all well. And, so it's not having a pop at anybody. Good luck to everybody that's in it. But they've invited the women's players, they've invited juniors, they've invited seniors. There's a division missing.
Do you think one of the reasons could be, though, the logistics of actually running a tournament with, I've been thinking how it could work with mixing wheelchair players with non-wheelchair players, let's say. One thing sprung to mind, and maybe you can answer this. What would they do about the shot clock?
Okay, well, that's a very good question. And it's a legitimate question. Yeah, definitely. And I'm not going to be, I'm not going to lie and say that 30 seconds would be a massive challenge. Yes, definitely. But during the latter stages of the European Championships, we play already on a 45-second shot clock.
Okay.
So, our top players are used to a shot clock. Okay, it's a little bit tighter, and will definitely put us a little bit out of our comfort zone. But in terms of getting our division promoted and noticed, and our top players promoted and noticed, and it's not just about me. I mean, it's Yoni Tati, Henrik Larsson, Roy Kimberly, Tony Sutherland. There's 5 or 6 players that can compete.
I'm going to play devil's advocate here, Fred, and I don't know anything. I haven't heard anything, so I'm just trying to put myself in their position a little bit. I think that maybe it's just ignorance, and I mean that with all due respect to Matchroom, but we saw that there's been a progression, and I think Emily had taken a stance as far as not going and having women involved in Matchroom events, and then now with time she's kind of been more open-minded and now welcoming it. I think maybe it's a possibility that with time, and I know that here in America we don't have any kind of wheelchair divisions at all that I'm aware of anyway. And I know it is very prominent there in Europe, but maybe it's something that with a little campaigning, and it's being open-minded to different people should always be prominent, but especially in this day and age, it especially is.
Yeah, I mean, this year particularly, funnily, just before I forget it, there's actually I think I'm going to be playing a Zoom match sometime pretty soon with a guy called Bill Larson. He's an American player. So I think we're gonna be playing fairly soon. But yeah, I mean, it's frustrating because this year obviously has been a bit crazy. I haven't played in 15, 16 months. It's the perfect year to experiment. And next year, Matchroom, to be fair, will probably go all guns blazing with their promotion of the sport, the way they probably intend to this year, in the brilliant way that they do it. So really, I doubt the opportunities that are there this year to experiment and to give players the chance.
I understand what you mean.
Will be there next year because they'll want to do it right, next year.
Like being more open and having the people who aren't there this year, right? Because maybe less travel restrictions, things like that. You mean?
Yeah.
I get you.
They'll have all the Chinese players back, and
But like how they go and designate things, right? Like they designate a spot for the junior world champion, they designate a spot for the women's world champion. I mean, with some campaigning and open mindedness and education, first and foremost, right? I think that I would say just, and I can understand your frustration, and I'm sure you've gone through your whole life.
It is frustrating because I mean, they have been asked and they have been written to, by.
I'll tell you what we'll do, Fred. We'll get Emily is great friends with Melina Mike, so we'll get Melina Mike to contact Emily, and I'm sure you will be in the next tournament. I'm sure it'll happen if we could just get Melina Mike on the case.
Can't believe it.
Joey, you must have a question. Come on.
First of all, I can't believe you went there. Fred doesn't know the story.
Oh, you got to insert that clip, right? You should have had that clip on standby.
We had Emily on, Fred, and the moments before we started the show, Emily was like, Mike, do you talk trash about us online? And it was just this moment of just...
And that was being polite. The way Joey just said it was being polite, Fred.
Have you ever been in a room, Fred, and something happens and you're like, I kind of feel uncomfortable being here? It was kind of like that.
I was kind of anticipating it the entire time, and the fact that we made it through like 10 minutes or so of prep and it never got brought up, I was like, okay, it's going to be good. We're going to start. And Joey's like, is everybody ready?
Yeah.
And yeah, we're all good. And then all of a sudden she just hits me with it, and I was like, huh? What did you say?
Surely she's put 2 and 2 together. Surely. And then, there it was, right at the last second. Got him a good one. Come on, Joey.
I do want to. First of all, I want to publicly apologize to Fred. He did such a great job. I think it was the first episode that we tried to do with the Booth Brothers, and we had some technical issues. And Fred, you were great, and I accidentally cut off a portion of your interview. And so a couple weeks ago, it kind of hit me, and I said, "Hey, Mark, when are we getting Fred back on?" He's like, "I've been talking to him. He's coming on." So I apologize. First of all. Second of all, I really am curious because one of the things that I love about pool is that you can't look at somebody and determine how well they play pool, right? That's the thing about it, right? You can walk into any room and you just look around and there's somebody standing there and you could say, oh, I'll play you some. And they turn out to be the best player in the room, right? And so I'm wondering, has there ever been a time, can you share maybe a story of when you've taken, we know you have a lot of sponsors, maybe you went out without your sponsor shirt on and met up with somebody or just saw somebody out there and just shock them with your ability to play pool. Do you have any stories like that?
No, not really, to be honest. I'd say probably. I've never been without the sponsors. They're far too important. But that was good, wasn't it?
Who are your sponsors?
But I probably the first able-bodied event I played in Ireland. They probably kind of wouldn't have known me then, and kind of, you can play a little bit. So that was probably the closest to what you said there. Yeah.
Yeah. How do you handle shots where you have to jack your cue up? Is it do you have to do it almost like a dart technique, or do you just raise your shoulder up?
They're a nightmare. Yeah. The most difficult. People would think snookers and stuff would be the most, but no, the Chinese snookers are the most difficult shots for us. They're just a nightmare.
At the weekend, there was a huge tournament, the Buffalo Pro Classic, that we're going to be talking about later with Melina Mike. He's been following it, and he was busy all the time with it, gambling, and there was lots and lots going on. But there was a huge story out of that side of the game where these people were climbing on the table. Now, this is maybe you should go and play all your games there, Fred. You can just climb on the table and drag yourself around the table and play.
Maybe it was actually something that Mike shared. I actually saw a picture of somebody taking a shot on the table.
Yeah,
it's the only room in the country where it's allowed and accepted, and it's the Buffalo's rule where you can get on the table. One pocket is a game of choice, so of course a lot of it is at the head of the table. So and they're playing on a 9-footer, and you'll see guys who are, like Tony, Tony's like I don't want to say how much weight he is, but Tony's a big boy, and Tony's climbing up on the table and Scott. But then you also have the smallest of guys who are, I'm sure, used to using the rest, like maybe a Dennis or Alex Pagulayan, where their height's kind of been maybe an advantage, maybe a disadvantage the whole life. But yeah, it's the only place in the world that I've ever seen where it's accepted.
Hey, Fred.
We are going to get in.
Love that event.
We are going to get into that later on, that conversation. But what did you? Sorry, Fred. Just very quickly, what did you say then about what I butted in on you? I'm very sorry. What did you say?
I'm sure the table fitters and the table mechanics love that event.
Well, it got me thinking,
Job
though.
security.
It got me thinking, guys, that it's diamond one-piece slate tables. I'm sure it's a whole different ballgame on a three-piece slate table where the slate comes together, and you can knock that plaster out of there and really do some damage. But on that one-piece slate, it's a little, I think, more amenable to that. But hey, Fred, I'm curious. Do you have any, other than using the rake or the bridge or the rest more often, is there any other specialized equipment that you use as a wheelchair player?
Not really. The one thing that was kind of when I joined How Q's this time last year, virtually, I was speaking to Florence and we were going through what I want, and I said, "Yeah, I need two extensions." What? And I said, "Yeah, trust me." So I don't have them here actually. I probably should have, but basically I got Aben ready which brilliant cue maker, snooker cue maker here. I basically got them to the inserts on the rubber at the end. I took one from one extension and put it into the other one, and so that they can basically go together then. So then, yeah, no different real, equipment. In my case, just more extensions. Whereas, I mean, there's a player in Britain, Matt Lester is his name. He plays in an electric wheelchair, and he can't make a bridge, so he uses I can't really think of what the name of it is, but it's kind of goes like that, and he bridges through it. So I mean, yeah, I don't, but with different disabilities within the different categories, yeah, there will be a lot of other devices and tricks.
For sure. I've seen like a. Oh, go ahead, Mark.
No, I was just going to say, just on that jacking up comment you made, you said that when you've got Chinese snooker. Now, I mean this totally serious now. I think you've got the perfect opportunity here to have something made for you, invented, where you literally do jack up, like a car jack, so it can actually bring your chair up. You jack up.
It's actually not allowed. You have to play in.
Go to Buffalo, they allow anything there.
Yeah, Buffalo.
What do y'all mean? What do y'all mean Chinese snooker?
When the white ball is in front of the object ball, and
okay, yeah, because you gotta get on top of it. Yeah, no, that can be tough. I know I've seen like Scott Simonetti. He's out of I think Scott's out of Vegas now, but he's originally from the East Coast. But Scott's missing an arm, and he's got something that he'll go and attach to his limb to be able to bridge, and he plays pretty sporty.
That'd be perfectly acceptable. There's a I can't remember. I think he's Lithuanian. There was a guy at the World Championships a few years ago, and he can't make a proper bridge, and he had a kind of a mechanical bridge that he strapped to his arm, or to his hand, and World War III broke out about that from the organizers, and what's the guy meant to do? I mean, it's disabled sport. We have to have stuff that will make the game possible for us. Otherwise, it's not we've all got different disabilities. I suppose the idea is that we make it as fair as possible to everybody. And if this guy has something that is going to make his bridge easier and to make it closer to mine, for example, well then, so be it. What's wrong with that?
So Fred,
I like that.
I know you're a great spokesperson for your sponsors, and I don't think I was able to get every patch in the screen here. So I want to give you a second to go through and talk about your sponsors and what they mean to you.
Well, I've actually been really lucky. It's been a strange one, the fact that we've done nothing for the past 16 months, and I about 16 months ago, which was great timing, I got this brainwave that I was going to change cue manufacturers, and I was lucky enough that I've been sponsored by Andy Cloth for about 5 years now, and the sister company of Andy, which is How Cues. I was speaking to Andy and Florence, and we agreed to join forces, and unfortunately, I haven't played with it yet. So I can't say how well it's going to go, but thanks for sticking with me. And the cues are amazing. I love them. I'm playing better than I ever was before, so it's brilliant. And obviously, how tips as well. And the other great news, which was just the previous attempt that we'd done to do this, I'd teamed up with GD Cases in Germany, and Danny has been very supportive, and we were just talking last night about my new case and how with all the other equipment that I use, it's I think I'm causing him a few sleepless nights and a few headaches that he hadn't got that he hadn't planned. So I was just kind of saying, welcome to Wheelchair Q Sports, which just and obviously the Jared Dunphy Snooker and Pool in Ireland looks after my table, but very, very important this week, which was I'm actually delighted about. 2 years ago, I became a brand ambassador for Honda, the car manufacturer, and I didn't think in a million years that it was that they were going to dump me like a hot potato with everything. But it's changed slightly. It's kind of more now the dealer, which is Slaney View Honda in Wexford. But I've been my agreement has been renewed with them as a brand ambassador for the next 2 years. Excellent. So that's massive, because I mean, it's not in quite the same way, and it's not as important, shall we say. But the other actual Honda brand ambassador, Mark will know of her, is Katie Taylor, the boxer. So I mean, to be even in the same breath as her is incredible.
You got some good companies with you. I've done some business with How Cues, and they're phenomenal. I helped launch their tips over here in the U.S. maybe like over a year ago now, I think it was. And then GD Cases, I know I've seen them. It's quality. So be a little patient, Fred. It'll be well worth it whenever you get it, because those things are really nice.
No, I mean, Howard is an incredible. It's an incredible company. I mean, I think, in one way, it was a good decision. It was a decision I made to kind of the next stage. Is kind of the rest of my time in the sport, probably, and I wanted to go a direction that maybe people weren't expecting. So I wanted to get in on the ground floor, if you like, because I mean, I think they are outside of China and outside of Asia. I think they're a very well kept secret, and the cues are phenomenal. And
They've been growing.
I'm not
They've
just
been
saying
growing.
that.
We do a thing on the show every week. I'm sure you've seen it, Fred, where we our main sponsor is the board lock picker, and we always ask our guests to give their lock for the week. Now we're going to be asking you now, who do you think is going to win the World Pool Championships when it starts on the 6th of June?
Going to be very boring. There only has to be one winner, Josh.
Okay, there it is.
Fred, you've accomplished a lot so far in your pool career. What do you strive for from here? What more do you want to accomplish?
I think if anybody had said that I would have achieved half of what I'd done, I would have been quite happy, at the start. But there's definitely been a couple of European championships that have got away from me, mainly thanks to Yoni Tati. I hate him. But so yeah, a couple more European titles and another one or two worlds would be quite nice. But
is that all? Just one or two?
I'm not greedy.
Think big, mate.
6 and 5 so far. I'd like to kind of even it up, maybe about 7 or so.
What have you only got?
How many times have you won a world title?
6 worlds.
Oh my God!
5 Europeans. On the we mentioned this at the last one. Kelly went down in my estimation. As much as I like her, she's lucky I did like her, because I actually always thought that I was the only one to win world titles in 3 totally different cue sports. And then I found out that I have to share that with Kelly, and I'm really not happy.
Guys, that is a really good point to leave it. Thank you so much for coming on, Fred. And we are sorry about the first time, but we hope that we've more than made up for it this time. It's always a pleasure to speak to you. You're very knowledgeable, and we love your take on your side of the game as well. Thank you so much for joining us.
Best of luck, Fred.
Ladies and gentlemen.
Cheers, guys.
Cheers.
Yeah, so great interview we had earlier on there with Fred Dinsmore. I mean, 11, what was that? No, 13 world titles he's got.
I think 6 world and 5 European. Something like that.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, something like that. Amazing. Impressive. Joey, do you know what? I love this so much, doing this. It's very late for me here, and we are going to go very, very shortly, because I really need to go home and get a little bit of sleep. I just want to say, what a great show. What a diverse show we've had tonight.
Very
great guests. Vinnie was amazing, wasn't he? And I love that new stuff that he was telling us about. And of course, Tony Chohan. I mean, respect to you for grabbing him at the last. And, we do like to try and keep this show as diverse as possible. And maybe it was just, we don't like to give up on the chance on getting somebody, do we, Joey?
No. And in fact, it's so tough because, some of these guys, you reach out to them and, they're in and they're out or whatever, but we've been pretty fortunate with our guests. And, like just a little behind the scenes that people don't know. Tony Chohan, what time did I text him, Mark? Or I sent him a message at 2 hours before the show and said, "Hey, you on?" And Tony was like, "Yeah, I can do that. Let's do it." And then we spent a half hour trying to get the technology worked out for him. It wasn't working with his Android. He needs an iPhone. We got to get that guy an iPhone. Anyway, we couldn't get him on, and then we finally figured out a way. Yeah, but I'm just saying, at a player, he just won a tournament, huge event, a lot of money. I joked with him, he should be out looking for a house right now. But for him to spend all that time just getting set up with us and on such short notice, we couldn't turn down that opportunity. And I think that's the thing, with this show is remaining flexible. You're going to be next week, you're going to be at the World Pool Championship, and we're going to try to broadcast with you live from there. And who knows who you're going to be able to scrounge up from that event, and come on camera with you or whatever. I mean, we just have to be flexible. And I really wanted to get Fred back on because we had Fred on before. and we had some technical problems. And that's a side of pool that I don't think enough people know about, the wheelchair, wheelchair pool. And I wanted to hear from him and give him a platform and a chance to talk. And I thought it was very interesting what he said about Matchroom and, trying to get on stage there, which I think he should have a shot, just like the ladies are getting a shot now, like the juniors have gotten a shot. It would be great to see him on there. And then Vinny. I mean, you've been lining up Vinny now for a couple weeks. Vinny was great, super fun guy, high energy guy. I mean, if you're going to partner with somebody in any type of entrepreneurial effort, he seems like the kind of guy you'd want to do it with, And so I thought it was a great show.
As soon as I started talking to him, I mean, we spoke for about 2 hours the first time we'd ever met on the phone, and we just have the same passion for Q Sports as I know you do, as I know Melina Mike does. And I think that's what this show is, why this show is good. It's lots of passion, and we do talk about everything, and we try and put a little bit of humor into it as well with our little caption competitions and stuff like that. And we hope, that the viewers are enjoying it, and that is the main reason we do it, right? Because we love all the input that we get from all of our viewers, and we love all the questions. And guys, hit us up anytime you want. If you've got anything, if you see a video on Facebook that you think we should showcase on here to let everyone else see, please do that. We want you to be a part of this show. So any feedback, any comments, any videos, it might be something you see down your local pool hall one day. When you're in the pool hall, speak to the owners, say, look, there's this show called Booth Brothers, and we showcase different pool halls. If they want to come on and showcase your pool hall, we'd love to do that. And send us all the tournaments that are coming up in your area. We want to showcase all them. We want to give pool the platform it deserves, and we want to show all the different aspects of the game. Whatever it is, if it involves a cue and balls, we want to know about it. Simple as that.
Yes.
Shall I shut up now?
Not all balls, but yes.
By the way, I am meeting up. I had a lovely message from Christoph Remke the other day, and we're going to meet up and have a beer. I spoke to Alex Kazakis tonight on Facebook Messenger, and he's going to be coming on the show as well. Let him get the next championship out of the way. So he'll be coming on the show very soon as well. I'm going to be meeting up with Kelly Fisher, of course. I love Kelly. Love her so much.
You know what, Mark? Let me just stop you. Let me say something about Alex. I'm so excited that you lined that up because, just seeing him at Moscone and other places, it's tough to really get a feel for the person. But over the course of this last event, listening to his interviews, and he just seems like such a humble, down-to-earth guy. And I'm excited to get him on here and talk to him and, just kind of pick his brain a little bit and, just see what it's like. I mean, for him, he defeated that monster, right? That monster that's there for all pool players, which is their own mental side, right? Where it's like they dog it at a certain point in a match. And that had been a stigma for him that he admitted, right? It had come up time and time again where he's right there, victory's in his grasp, and he dogs it. And he not only did he overcome that, he shattered that monster, right? He beats Shane Van Boning.
What a way to do it. If ever you want to bury something and, I'm the nearly man, or you're the nearly man, you nearly did it, but you didn't quite get there. You haven't got quite what it takes to win it. And then to go and dish out the donuts, it was at a Kazakhstan. A Kazakhstan. How did you say his name?
You did. Kazakhstan.
No, that's not right. It's
classic.
It's a Kazakh.
Yeah, but you kind of combined it. A classic victory.
It's a classic Kazakh. Oh, you know what I mean. It was a Krispy Kreme donut that he delivered anyway. It was a Kazakhis Krispy Kreme donut that he delivered. A classy performance. 9-0. Joey, we've got to go.
We got to go, Mark. I'm coming off a holiday. Look at this thing. It's overgrown. I got to get cleaned up and everything next week. Hopefully I'll be a little more presentable for folks.
Can't believe no one's mentioned my tan. I've got a little bit of a tan. 27 degrees it was here in Essex in the UK today. Beautiful.
What is that in Fahrenheit? What does that mean?
Double it and 84, 85.
Oh, yeah. Warming up.
Yeah, it's warming up, man.
103 in Phoenix today.
Try and remain as cool as ever. How much?
103 in Phoenix today. That's a pleasant day in Phoenix. Yeah, I'm serious. But it's a dry heat, Mark. It's a dry heat.
It's dry. It's no humidity.
You better come through Phoenix when you get out here, and don't make up excuses or, oh, I couldn't make it out there. You're coming to Phoenix, buddy. I'm taking you. We have some of the best per capita, the best.
I'm staying in your house. What do you mean I'm coming to? Of course I am.
We have some of the best pool rooms in the country per capita. Like, you can go a mile this way, a mile that way, and you're running into some amazing pool rooms out here. So I can't wait to show you around.
Anytime, mate. I'm up for it. Let's get this horrible disease out of the way, this horrible virus, and we're getting there closer every single time. I've had my 2 vaccines now. We're looking at a passport now to travel within Europe if you've had the 2 vaccines. So that looks pretty good.
Are you getting a vaccine passport over there?
Yeah, well, we're going to have the government are trying to do a thing now where if you've had the 2 vaccines, we've got a card. I've actually got it with me now in my phone wallet. And when you've had the 2 vaccines, you get your card. The card is stamped with what vaccine you had and where you had it. And we
don't play that game over here. This is America. We don't play that game. We have states passing laws to not have vaccine passports.
This is just turning into a chat now, like just 2 guys.
It sure is. It's a fireside chat. It is. But you know what? I had COVID. I went up to pool room up in Vegas, and I came back with COVID. And fortunately, I had a mild case. I had it for 1 day, but the studies now are starting to show that your immunity lasts pretty long time, longer than they thought when you've actually had it. So hopefully I'm not going to get it again.
Last time I went to a tournament, I came back with a trophy. Not COVID.
Not me. It's been a while. All right, we better wrap it up, buddy.
Yeah.
I'll see you next week.
See you next week. Thanks, guys, for watching. Everyone. Keep those messages coming. This is why we do it, for you. Thank you so much. Good night.